What's up guys, Chris here, back again with another video for you guys today. In tonight's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to trade with icons in FIFA 22. There's so many little tips and tricks on how to make money with icons, and I'm going to give you every way possible. It's going to be a really good video, and something you guys can use throughout the whole year of FIFA. So before we get into it, if you guys can just drop a like on it, and subscribe if you're new around here, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So, let's talk about icons. How do we trade with them? Well, let me give you guys a little bit of a sample size. A couple icons that I traded with. I got this Van Basten at 307. I sold him back at 327. Not my best deal, but it's an okay deal. I got this at 250. I sold him at 279. I got him at 350. I sold him at 399. And I got this at 240 and I sold it at 274. And then I have a Barnes on my transfer list right now that I bought at 283. A little bit higher than I really wanted to buy for this card. You really want to get like 275, 280 and sell them back at 305. I should be able to get an overnight sale on a card like this. So, how do we trade with icons? How do you memorize prices? I always tell you guys, and something you guys hear a lot in my streams, is you really just need to know what these cards sell for. That's the number one thing with icons. If you know what icons sell for, if you know the level of demand that these guys have, how fast they sell as well, I think you guys can make a lot of money by doing that. So, ways to just memorize prices. First off, the number one way that I use to just look at prices is probably Fuppin. Fuppin is my number one tool when it comes to trading with icons. So we're going to go to a random icon here. We'll go to one that's on my transfer list. Let's go to Shearer, okay? We're going to go into the 89 Shearer card that I flipped at 279k. And what we're going to do is we're first off going to see, and because it's a late night video right now, I have to click on yesterday. So yesterday he went from 266 to 276, down to 270, up at 280, down to 260, up at 285, and then down again to 270s. And then what I could also do is, if I'm not satisfied with the graph, I can also see the market sales history right here, this little light green highlighted feature that you guys can use on Xbox or on PlayStation. If you have a Fuppin account, I believe you can change right up here. There's like a PS button or Xbox or PC. You can change it, then you can look at the market sales history. But if I look at Shearer here, he sold at 288, he sold at 280, 297, 267, 293, 293, 290, 289, 270s, 280. This guy is a minimum 275 to 280k card, and on the high end, it looks like I could sell him at 290 plus. So at minimum, my buy price for a card like this, just basing off the top of my head, is going to be like 265. Because worst comes to worst, if I can't sell them in this 290 range, at least I can get them in the sell at the 285, 284 range, right? And I can still make a little bit of profit because of that. So what we're going to do, first off, is go to Shearer on the market, and we're going to see if there's any deals possible right now. So I'm just going to take a look all the way until about 290 here. Let's see, 289. 285. Okay, so if you guys want to know if a card actually sells for a third time, so not only are you looking at their graphs, you're looking at their market sales history, you're also going to take a look at their transfer targets. And if you take a look at my transfer targets, I have a lot of icons listed up here, and I'm looking at what they're selling for on the market and what people are willing to pay for cards like this. I had somebody in my live stream a few hours ago say that he got a Vidic at like 300k. And I've already seen one sell at 320 today, so for me, he's already profiting on this card. Let's see if he can sell him for even higher than that, based on his graph, based on his market sales history. I'm looking at this Baby Crespo card as well, and I'm seeing only 400k plus. So anything that's in like that 370, 360 range, I'm getting myself involved with it. And listen, icons, you can do a couple different ways to trade with them. You could trade via fluctuation, so, you know, kind of looking at that Shearer again, right? There wasn't that many fluctuations on a card like that, but as the year goes on, we're going to see more fluctuations on icons where throughout the day, you're going to see 265, then 280, 260, 290, 285. You're just going to see these icons bouncing around, and actually, if you take a look at this guy's graph, right, you see him at that 266 range. You're not going to necessarily buy him at 266, but you're going to try to find someone that undercuts this card that was 265-ish at maybe 255, 250, right? Because you know that at minimum, you're going to sell him at 270. If you look at Sunday, he was selling in the 270 to 280s once again. right? So you know where this guy is selling. And listen, icons in the early part of the year is only going to rise a bit further up as the market gets more coins. These guys should rise a bit more. So if you take a look at these graphs, yes, he was 290, went down a little bit, back up to 290, down a little bit again. He is going to rebound. He is already back up to 290-ish right now. So that's just the way to memorize prices. It's putting cards in your trends targets. It's looking at market sales history, and it's also looking at flipping graphs. And it's also continuously looking through these icons as well. I think icon trading really is about just, kind of patterns and like continuously looking through cards. The more icons you're looking at, the more cards you're memorizing, the more money you're going to make on these cards. Now, that is number one. That's step number one when it comes to icon trading, is knowing what they sell for. And you might say to me, like, that's pretty self-explanatory, but it's not, though, because a lot of people don't understand how to icon trade. The first step is always learning what they sell for, or at least finding a median price that you know you can sell at minimum, and then find that buy price that you know you can cover tax with, and then also make good profit. People always ask me these questions of, how do I know which amount of coins I can make on an icon, or like what's a good amount to make on an icon? Realistically, it depends on how much you're paying for the icon. Like, if I saw a baby Schweinsteiger earlier today on stream at 285, and I could buy that at 285, I can flip it back at 315, because that's what I've seen him sell for on his graph and on the market sales history. And if you look at 312 right there, so 15,000 coins, say I sell them at 315, I'm looking at about 14,000 coins profit right there. That's not too bad, right? On a 300k card, that's probably where I'm looking. And maybe even a 400k card, I'm looking like 15 to 20k. At least 13 to 15k when you're looking at that 300k plus icons. I think if you're looking at cards that are $1 million plus, you're probably looking for 30k, 40k, things like that. And those icons are actually more fun to trade with. There's less competition on them. They fluctuate more, and you can find better deals because there isn't as much competition. A lot of people focus on these these lower tier icons, the ones that are in the 100k or 130k to 350k. It's because they can afford icons like this. So that is kind of like memorizing prices. Now let me give you guys some filters, okay? So some filters that I like, and there's so many you guys can do, right? And listen, this is all about memorizing prices. So I'm not expecting an icon deal on stream or on video right now, but I do believe you guys will learn from this video. So I can go quality icon, and then I can do a bunch of different filters. I can go goalkeeper, I can go defender, I can go midfielder, and I can go forward until my budget. So I'll go forward here. I'll put my max price at like 1.4 million. And listen, there's a lot of different filters. Actually, let's not go 1.4. Let's go 400k, and let's try to get to the 59th minute as soon as possible. What I recommend for you guys with this as well is make sure you guys are doing this on the companion app and on the web app. Doing this on console will get you to the 59 minute a lot harder. It'll get you guys there a lot slower than your normal, companion app or web app. You're just able to breeze through the pages on those two compared to console. So I don't recommend you guys doing that, but I do recommend you guys memorizing prices through the console if you wanted to, by putting them on your trends targets. And also, if you do find a filter that gets you here pretty quickly, this Closa here is 265,000 coins. So let me take a look at Closa. Right now, I can already tell this isn't a deal. And the reason why I can tell that's not a deal, he's got a 274 overnight, a 280 overnight, and another 271 here. So he's got overnights, okay? So I'm going to double check here really quickly just in case that maybe the overnights aren't really telling me the full story. And I'm looking here, and it seems like this card is a medium price between 250 and about 275. So I bet you I can get this card in like the low 250s and sell him at least at 270 throughout the day, right? He hits 275 here, 278 here, right? And then another 270, I believe, right there. So I want to get this card at 250. 250 and lower is my buy price. I'm going to see if this sells though. So I'm going to put it on my trans targets, and we're going to move on, right? I'm going to adjust my price again, and we're going to keep going. And the more cards that you guys can find the prices for on a filter like this, the more money you're going to be able to make, because you'll know once you get to this page, right, a lot of the prices, and it'll just be like muscle memory at that point. You'll know, all right, that's a deal. easy money, buy it because you know what you can sell the card for. So that is some of the things you guys can do. That's for forward. You can do this with midfielder. You can do this with defender. You can do this with goalkeeper. And it also applies to nationalities as well. So let me show you guys certain nationalities right after this. I'm just taking a look here because I don't know if I don't want to miss a deal, right? So that's position. And you can do whatever to your budget, by the way, as well. So my budget's 1.4 million, but I want to save the 1.4 million filter for a little bit later on this video. So we're going to move on to country. There's a lot of different filters, right? And I actually have filters in my Discord. The Discord link will be in the description, or in the, yeah, I think in the description. I have filters in there that you guys can use. Some of you guys might be coming from the Discord to watch this video, so I do understand that. One of the filters I have listed in there is English forwards. So what I do, and this I can actually use a higher budget. I can use maybe 1.4 million because there is a lot of English strikers or forwards in general, right? You have Barnes, you have Ian Wright, his versions, Owen, Beckham, Rooney, and then you have, I think there's another one, Shearer, Owen, like I said. So you have a lot of versions of cards, Lineker as well, Lampard if he changes to a striker version. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to start learning some of these prices. Now, I have a Barnes actually listed on my transfer list at 305, right? And I'm expecting that card to sell. If I look at this time remaining, 5 hours and 26, 308, 315, 310. These two are kind of like technically the overnights. So I can't list above that. I mean, you could try, but you want to be listing at a price that you know you can sell the card at. So I'm going to list mine at 305 for the overnight. I'm going to then keep adjusting my price on this filter, and I'm going to keep getting to the 59 minute and trying to find new cards that pop up on this filter. So that's another way you guys can make coins, is by doing England, Argentina, Brazil, Netherlands. You know, all of those nationalities will work for you on these filters. You guys can get creative with it, right? Okay, and now this is the last filter that I want to do. So I just went through position, I went through country and region. Now I want to get to the big boys. So I'll go 600k right here. So this is kind of showing you guys a filter that is used for the big tier icons, right? So let me actually change that to 1.5. I'll go 15 mil max by now. And then I'm going to try to get to the 59 minute as soon as possible. And right now it could be dead time in the market because, you know, it's late night, right? So I have this Dalglish here at 1 mil 77. I'm looking at this 1.1 million. Let me take a look at Dalglish's graph today, and let's see if we can just take a look and see if he fluctuates a lot. These deals, like I said, guys, they don't go as quick because people don't have there's not much competition on these cards as you guys might think. This guy went from 1 mil 30 to 1148, 105, up again to 1.1, down again to 105. So for me, a buy price on this card, it looks like 1 mil flat. That's as simple as that. I'm taking a look here. 1 mil 99, 1 mil 99. And listen, if you take a look here, guys, 1 mil 99. The reason why this price is attractive and something you guys can use for the rest of the market is you can undercut. So you could obviously sell him at 1.1 million if you wanted to, but 1099 looks attractive, right? And I don't know if you guys watch any real estate shows or whatever, but a lot of the, you know, agents, they usually undercut like a listing, or you know, they put a value on something right before like a whole number almost. Like instead of something being worth 7 million, that's going to be worth 6.999. It's just something that in our heads we think it's cheaper, even though it's really just, I mean, it is cheaper obviously, but it's not like an insane deal. But people are more than likely going to buy it with certain things like that. So, you know, if you find a card at 270, flip it at 299, right? That's something you guys can obviously make money on. Obviously right now there's not as many listings in the market, so I'm not getting as many like listings here on the video, but you guys are understanding the concept of just getting to the 59 minute quick enough. And listen, you guys can obviously, you know, change this as well. If you want to just go 1.5 million, right? It's going to take you a little bit to get there, but like I said, if you're doing this on the companion app, if you're doing it on the web app, you guys should be able to see a lot of these new icons popping up, and you'll be able to make a good amount of money if you know the prices on these cards. Another little tip for you guys, if you're looking at like forwards and even some midfielders, what you guys can do is these cards sell for a bit more people like to pay a premium for fresh cards. So they like to pay a premium because they want to have the stats for that specific icon. And let's see, this 90 Henry at 1 mil flat. I'm taking a look right here. That's not like the worst deal in the world. Obviously, he's going for 1 mil 50. So that kind of just came up into nowhere. I'm going to take a look at Henry right now. On the market, 90 left wing. I don't believe this is a fresh card. No, he played 10 games with him. I'm looking at this Henry right now. From yesterday, he was about 1 mil to 1 mil 50 throughout the day, right? So his high price is 1 mil 50, and his low price is around 990. So I'm looking here. Somebody actually paid 1.1 million, but this right here is a rare price. It's something that maybe somebody got lucky on, right? The price you're probably going to see mostly is going to be this 1 mil 60, or 1 mil flat actually. From what it looks like here, 1 mil to 1 mil 50 is going to be like your medium price. So a price that I would be willing to pay for that Henry is probably about 920, 930. Maybe if I want to get a little greedy, I can go 950, sell it back for 1 mil 20, which is about 20, 25k profit, something like that. So as I was saying, right, these forward cards, people will pay a premium for them. So you can list them a bit higher. What you're going to need to do with that is you're going to need to see what the other cards are being listed up on the market that have a basic chem style on them. And you got to check and make sure that those cards have not been played. Some people, they put a basic chem style like this Henry, for example, but somebody played with him. So this isn't as attractable as an Henry, for example, that, might have. And listen, I'm going to see where this bid goes, by the way, too, right? Let's see, because it's always good to put up as many cards on your transfer targets as possible, because then you can sift through them throughout the day, right? I got a deal on Shearer yesterday at 250 because I had him on my transfer targets. That's another little tip for you guys. Making sure you guys are, putting these cards on your transfer targets and then sifting through them throughout the day and always checking up on them, seeing if you can find a deal that just pops up out of nowhere. If I look right here, is there any cards that are, first owner and that have not been used? So this card, no, they've all been used. So that's interesting on that Henry, but you should be able to sell these cards for a bit more, but you got to look and see what the other basic first owner players, for that specific player, you can get that card for. This card is worth 847. Something I want to point out real quick before I end this video as well. Make sure you guys do not get caught up in a card that gets really, really rare for a certain part of the day. So this Rivaldo today, people in my chat saw this actually happen, but somebody was able to buy it at 485. And this card, yes, it's 490 right now, but he's a pretty rare icon. If you take a look right here, he spikes from 449 to 559. I can tell you already that he's not going to sell at 559. But what a trader did, which was really, really smart, is he saw this card was going for 440 to 470 throughout the day. What he then did was he capitalized on a card that got really, really rare. So he went onto the market, saw what the cheapest one was going for. I believe at the time it was about 540k, and he put it up. And let me see. Oh, was it this? I thought it was the 485. Somebody paid 585 for this. I don't remember that. I swear I put that card up for 485. And what he did was, it was a 60k undercut, so somebody thought that was a deal. Same thing that went for this Burkham. Somebody bought this Burkham at 810,000 coins. A casual got tricked into this card, thinking it was a deal, and it wasn't it. You take a look at Burkham on the market. You got to be careful with things like this, guys, because especially on Xbox, cards get really, really low, or really, really rare, sorry. I take a look at him. You see this big spike up to 850. Somebody then undercuts that Burkham. You guys can see right here, this card doesn't sell for more than maybe 620, 630 throughout the day. And this guy bought him at 810. And you can get really lucky like that, but I wouldn't count on that as kind of like a flipping opportunity. I would make sure you're getting a price that you know you can sell the card at. And if there's an opportunity where you do see these cards rising a lot because they're really rare, yeah, maybe take advantage of that, put the card up a little bit higher, and see if a casual is willing to pay for that. Because it's so rare at that moment. Other than that, I think I've covered everything when it comes to icons. Realistically, it's all about looking at prices, memorizing them, sifting through your transfer targets, and making sure you're just keeping up with the trends of these cards. There's a lot of ways to make coins with icons, so I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.